How often do you review what is working well in your business and where you can improve? For me, regularly reviewing and planning is one of the most important things that you can do in your business, because this is the thing that will actually enable you to change and improve things going forwards. So as we're coming right to the end of the year, I thought it made complete sense this week to talk about how you can effectively review your year and then actually start to think about what that means for you going forwards into next year. Now, interestingly, somebody actually shared a post into my Facebook group, the Business Growth Community, just this week. It was a post from Clive Woodward, the former rugby coach, the coach of the England World Cup winning team. And he was talking about the importance of reviewing why they won. And what we really typically do in business is we constantly look at the things that we're not that happy with, or where things aren't going quite as we would like. And yet we very easily skim over the things that have worked well. But actually the things that have worked well are more often than not the real insights into how we move forward more. And I was really, really pleased to see that Clive Wood was talking about how important it is to review what's going well and why you win. So that's definitely something I would encourage you to do in your business and really think about what's gone well for you this year. So here's a bit of a template that you could follow to get yourself a really effective review of your year and get yourself really focused and proactively thinking about next year. So I would always start off with two questions, very Clive Woodward-esque questions actually. And I would ask yourself, what are you most proud of achieving in your business this year? Because this is a really un-British thing. We really don't like to think about this. But do you know what? There are things that all of us achieve in business, whether they're small or large, where we're making an impact, we're building that ripple effect that we absolutely deserve to be proud of. And sometimes this is something that can really reignite our love and our passion for what we do, but also give us great insights into where we really want to push next year. So that's question number one. What are you proud of achieving in your business this year? Question number two would be, what has gone well in my business this year? And really dig into that in as much detail as you can and think back across the year, even to small, trivial little things. There might be great conversations or a particular networking meeting or something like that. But dig into as much detail as you can here, because these are all the little bits that are going to give you sparks of inspiration to push things forward. And then what you can do is dig into each of the key areas of your business, but you need to go much deeper than just looking at the numbers. So for instance, I would start with looking at, for instance, customers. So which customers have you gained this year? Which customers have you lost this year? But that only gives you a certain amount of information. So you really need to dig under the skin of that and ask yourself the why questions. So with each of the areas of your business, I would encourage you to ask 3 questions. Why did that happen? So when you look at the customers, for instance, okay, we gained these customers and we lost these customers, but why did you gain or lose them? If you've got a much better caliber of customers this year than last year, why did that happen? What is it you've done differently to make that happen? So firstly, ask yourself why those things are as they are. And if you need a few more prompts, then ask yourself what went well in that area and how can you improve? So think about your customers. What went really well to help you either acquire new customers or retain your customers or build better relationships, and where can you improve that for next year? So there's your customers. You can also think about your products and services. And again, why did you get the particular results or outcomes that you did? What went well around the types of products or services that you were promoting and selling this year? And where could you improve that for next year? Then you can look at things like your financials. So these are the classic figures that we look at when we're reviewing our year in business. But again, it's the stuff that sits underneath it, which is actually the most important and insightful. So if your business has increased in terms of turnover, why did that happen? What has caused that to happen? Was that additional marketing? Is that reputation? Is that customers sticking around for longer? Is it recommendation? Really dig into why those numbers are the way they are. Is it down to increases in revenue, or is it actually down to reductions in costs? Or have your costs actually inflated this year and you're not quite taking that into account? So you might want to think about, with finances, digging under the skin of it with things like, How well did you track and measure your finances through the year? Do you need to do more of that? And also think about potentially things like payment terms being paid on time. So did your customers consistently pay you on time all year, or actually have some of them caused you a bit of a headache? And if some customers have been challenging with how much they wanted to pay or when they wanted to pay, what do you need to do differently about that next year? Do you need new terms? Do you need to be tougher? Do you need more payment up front? Do you just need to be a bit more robust with your credit control? Lots of different things to think about, but really dig under the skin of that and then get to the point where you can actually pull that down into 2 or 3 really key objectives for how you can help your business in that area next year. A crucial area to also think about is how good were you this year with your time and focus? And I don't mean time management, because if you watched any of my other videos, you'll know that I don't believe there's any such thing as time management. What there is focus management and self-management. So it's actually all down to where you choose to allocate your time. So what have you spent time on this year that actually, with the joy of hindsight, is either a complete waste of time, or where have you got drawn into spending a massive amount of time on something that actually you think is quite trivial or quite low value? And where did you really want to invest your time this year that you haven't been able to? And really think about things like your focus. Did you stay focused on your goals and the things that are going to grow your business, or did you constantly get diverted and distracted? In which case, what can you do to improve that next year? Also think about things like the systems and the processes and the general overall efficiency of your business. And of course, think about marketing and sales, how well that's all gone this year, what went well, why did things go well, what can you improve next year? And then I would potentially finish off with 2 questions. How well did you prioritise this year? Because that can be quite insightful in terms of, are you really prioritising you and your business goals, or do you tend to prioritise the customer and leave your plans to be the absolute last thing that get worked on? And where did you play it safe this year? I always think that's a really, really interesting question. And funny enough, sometimes this is one of the best questions that I ask clients that are actually doing incredibly well. So it's not a case that they necessarily need to improve in all sorts of areas, but there is always somewhere in our business that we're holding back that little bit. We're playing it safe, and we are probably getting on in our own way of achieving what we're truly capable of. So that's my structure to help you review your year. What are you proud of? What went well? Dig into each of the key areas of your business and ask, why did you achieve that result? What was it that went well in that area? Where could you improve? And then finish off by asking yourself, how well did you prioritise? Where did you play it safe? And then turn that into a little list of thoughts and ideas and insights to really get you focused on next year. This is not about a plan for next year. This is purely about reviewing this year, taking out the conclusions, the insights, the amazing juicy snippets that will help you when you actually sit down and start to do your plan for next year. This is going to give you real insight so you can create a plan with depth and a plan that's achievable. So I hope that's given you some really good thoughts about how to review your year and do that in a way that gives you really valuable, useful information to push your business forward next year. Do let me know if you put this into practice and how it goes for you, or any feedback that you've got on how this kind of process works for you or what you do differently would be brilliant. Please let me know that in the comments below. And if you could like and subscribe to this video or this channel, that would be absolutely amazing. And of course, feel free to share this video with anybody else you think could benefit.